Breaking news in the Bronx. This is Bronx Fan Central.
Close your eyes for a second. Imagine the sound. That sharp crack of a bat hitting a baseball into the second deck at Yankee Stadium. The crowd hasn't even reacted yet, but you already know, that one's gone. Now imagine the guy who just launched that shot is named Mike Trout, wearing pinstripes, hitting second in the lineup. Can you picture it? Because if you can't, you need to see what's circulating right now behind the scenes of American baseball. And I need to tell you before you catch half of it in some out-of-context tweet. The question on every real Yankees fan's mind today is simple. Does the front office have the guts to make this move? If you already know the likely answer is no, comment down below. Cashman will sleep on it. If you still have hope, comment. Make it happen. I want to see the ratio by the end of this video. Look, I'm going to be straight with you because that's what I do here. I get frustrated when I see an obvious opportunity being wasted. And this move, trading Giancarlo Stanton for Mike Trout with a contract adjustment, is the most obvious thing anyone could propose in baseball right now. This isn't analyst genius. It's common sense in a suit. Stanton is costing real money for a role he can barely fulfill. The guy lives on the injured list. When he shows up, he hits. When he shows up. But we're in 2026, and that, when he shows up, has already become a bad joke among the fan base. The issue isn't wishing anything bad on Stanton. I don't. The issue is the math just doesn't add up anymore. So when I read that there's a real path to sending that contract to California and bringing back a once-in-a-generation talent, I don't get excited. I get annoyed that this is still a fantasy instead of a serious conversation in Cashman's office. On Monday, May 4th, 2026, analyst Keith Law from The Athletic published a straight-to-the-point article. It's time for the Los Angeles Angels to trade Mike Trout. The core argument is simple. Trout's trade value will never be higher than it is right now because he's having his best start to a season in years, with numbers that resemble peak Trout from 2016 and 2017. Law himself acknowledges the risks. Trout still has close to $200 million left on his contract. He's 34 years old, and he has an injury history that scares any general manager. But the analyst lists several possible destinations, and the Yankees are on that list with an argument that makes sense on paper. The possibility of using Stanton's contract as part of the deal, combined with mid-tier prospects, to build a viable package. The numbers matter here, so let's break it down. Giancarlo Stanton still has approximately $40 million guaranteed through the end of 2027, including the buyout of the 2028 option. Mike Trout has around $200 million remaining on his deal with the Angels. The gap is massive, but part of the deal would be using Stanton's salary as an offset, meaning the Yankees would send that contract along to reduce Trout's financial impact on the payroll. Keith Law mentions that the Yankees have enough second-tier prospects, after George Lombard Jr. and Dax Kilby, at the top of the system, to assemble a package that would at least be interesting for Los Angeles. It wouldn't be a deal that has the Angels celebrating, but it could get them out of a dead-end rebuild with no clear direction. Did you know Mike Trout has played exactly one playoff series in his entire career? One series in 13 years. The guy has 3 MVP awards, numbers that will make historians emotional 20 years from now. And he's played 1 elimination series. 1. The Yankees have 27 World Series titles hanging on the wall, and we're still here debating whether it would be good to have him in the lineup. Think about that. Now think about this. Would you rather watch Mike Trout spend 5 more years in Anaheim without reaching the playoffs, or see him in pinstripes next to Judge chasing title number 28? You don't have to answer right now. Just hold that image. If you're a real Yankees fan, and that image didn't give you chills, you're watching the wrong sport. The structure of the deal proposed by Law would work like this. The Yankees would send Stanton to the Angels as the centerpiece of the package, acting as salary balance. Trout would arrive in the Bronx as the everyday designated hitter, filling the role Stanton could barely handle when healthy. So yes, the frustration is with the front office. It always has been, and it will continue to be as long as management keeps choosing the middle ground instead of the championship path. If you're also losing sleep over this lack of boldness, go ahead and hit that like button. This channel exists because we don't accept content from complacent fans. Now I need your real opinion. Comment down below with one of these 2 options. Make the deal. If you think the Yankees should call the Angels tomorrow morning and start the conversation. Bad move. If you think Trout is too risky, the contract doesn't work, and the front office should look elsewhere. There's no wrong answer, but there are fans who avoid the debate, and this channel isn't for them. We debate here. We disagree here. That's what builds a real community. And if you're not subscribed yet, honest question, what are you waiting for? Hit that red button, turn on notifications, and join the crowd that takes the Bronx seriously. So here it is. Like Trout to the Bronx is possible. The path exists. The financial argument makes sense. The baseball argument is screaming. And the only thing standing between this deal and reality is a front office willing to make one bold decision for once. I want to believe. Every day I wake up wanting to believe Cashman will surprise me. But until that surprise comes, I'll be right here, breaking down every move, every leak, every opportunity, and telling you straight what I think is really going to happen. Because that's what I do. I don't just read the news. I deliver the verdict. See you next time. Go Yankees!